Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast, episode number 8, where we continue our discussion from last week's Rolling Stone magazine Top 50 Hair Metal Albums of All Time, or as Bill, Dennis, and I say, WTF. We really don't have any new music to discuss this week. It's been kind of slow, but Dennis says he has a funny story for us. So go, Dennis.
No, basically, we're talking about music news, and I was going to say, first week in a long time, there hasn't been any Dave Grohl news this week. Zero. I don't know. I guess Dave took a vacation this week. It's like every week there's something.
Is it what you troll for Dave Grohl?
Well, usually it's how it works. You can't get away from it. You know, he's doing something with the Muppets. He's doing this. He's done, I guess. Maybe this week he just slept all week. I don't know.
He's on a holiday. He's taking a holiday.
Speaking of the Muppets, I did enjoy the drum off.
That was funny.
Okay, you win. All right, so we ready to get right into this?
Let's do it. We got a lot to go.
Hey, let's talk about some good albums this week, not some of that horrible music we talked about last week.
Oh, yes. Well, you take the good, you take the bad, and I'm not going to finish that.
You're just going to take it, one of the two.
And there's a couple ugly ones in this one, too. So
yeah, well, opinions, buttholes,
Oh, ooh.
Okay, starting this week out with number 25, we've got David Lee Roth's Eat 'em and Smile from 1986. This has my all-time favorite Van Halen-like song on it. Yankee Rose is so badass. I used to have an internet radio station called Harris to the 80s, and that's how I started my broadcast, and that's how I finished my broadcast with Yankee Rose.
Cool.
What's your thoughts, Bill?
Great band. Putting together three great players, and David Lee Roth was a great idea. I did get to see this tour. I didn't get to see the Van Halen tour, but I saw this. I was blown away. Going Crazy on that album was great. I really liked that song. I mean, I liked the whole album actually. It was just so different from Van Halen. It was weird. It was bluesy, and there was all kinds of different stuff on it, which I thought was pretty cool. Great videos. Really great videos from that album. So that definitely belongs in the top 25, I think. Dennis.
Yeah, I think the same way. It's a real good album. Like I said, great players, and like I said, David, utilized MTV to the maximum with this album. I mean, the videos were hilarious.
Dave TV.
Dave TV, and he was doing all the makeup stuff. And I think was there 3 or 4 videos off this album at least?
Yeah. And then there was an EP that kind of happened after that, too. Right. So that, yeah.
But no, like I said, at that time, he took over. Van Halen started out with that, toward the end with '84 with Panama and Jump and all those. But David took it to another level when they made almost like little mini shows, on that. So that was cool. But like I said, there's some great songs on this album, and I really liked it. Like I said, though, you did post that earlier this week, the little demo. That was Yankee Rose, wasn't it? The demo of this?
Yes.
It's kind of scatting and just.
It was scat, all right.
It was. It was.
I don't think you meant like in the musical.
No.
Word scat. No. I think that was
slang.
Okay. We can move on.
Well, before we move on, there is a little bit of Eat 'em and Smile news. I saw something earlier that David Lee Roth has confirmed that there's at least going to be one show or some kind of gathering of the Eat 'em and Smile lineup. So that would be something to see. Without the fire marshal showing up.
Without the
bigger venue.
Publicity stunt.
No.
That'd be a good like venue in Vegas, like a residence. That'd be a cool residence.
It would
be.
Be
very cool.
To do like 10 days or something like that would be awesome.
Might lure you back to Vegas.
Yeah, go for it.
That'd be cool.
All right, we ready for number 24?
Let's do it.
Enough's Enough, self-titled from 1989. I don't really know anything about this. There was one song that they had. I don't even know the name of it. New Thing, yeah. That's the only song that I really actually know. Fly High Michelle, I kind of remember that one. That was one of those bands that never really did anything for me.
Yeah, I didn't get why they were in the top 25. If you look at some of the bands that were, up in the, in the upper half of the 50, they're not in the top 25. I mean, that just didn't make sense to me at all. And other than the power ballad "Fly High Michelle," I didn't even know they existed. So there you go.
Yeah, I other than, like I said, I heard the two, the New Thing and Fly High Michelle, both were really good songs. Unlike you, they didn't make enough difference in the hair metal world themselves. They were just kind of another carbon copy, cookie cutter band. I don't see whether they're in the top 25 or even in the top 50, but those two songs are good. And I've actually got those two songs on my iPod and do listen to them fairly regular.
They made it higher than Pretty Boy Floyd.
That's true. But I mean, and there's still actually Chips Enough still has this band in some form or version of it, and still tours with this band quite a bit. I know there's a website that follows a lot of these 80s bands, and I do see them on there quite a bit. So he's still out there, and like I said, I like those two songs, but it's two songs doesn't make an album.
No.
So.
Number 23, Hanoi Rocks, Self-Destruction Blues from 1982. I got nothing.
What? WTF.
Other than the fact that I know that Vince Neil killed one of the players in this band, that's the only thing I know. Because the guy that was in his car when he crashed that got killed, he was a guitar player, I think, for this band. And other than that, and I've seen Michael Monroe, he does a few things. He's an odd looking dude. I've heard some of his stuff. I don't really know this album. I really didn't listen to it. I've heard some of their stuff. I don't quite get it. I think they're more England. They're out of England, aren't they?
No, I don't think so.
Or Sweden.
Yeah, somewhere else, but
so I guess they're probably bigger in another country than they are in America. I just don't get it. So yeah,
I tried to listen to some of that, and I couldn't find that album actually on anything that I could listen to. So I listened to a couple of other things of theirs, and I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Well, moving along, number 22's White Lions Pride from 1987. For me,
Wait and When Children Cry. And other than that, I don't know why that album made it, because there's nothing else on it. It's back to that other thing again. Two songs don't make an album. I tried to listen to parts of the rest of it and didn't get it. So
was that remake of Radar Love on this one too, or not?
That was on another one.
I think that was on the second one.
Yeah, When Children Cry makes me want to cry, and just not for like I'm sad, just for the fact of it makes my stomach hurt and makes me kind of sick when I hear it. I just hate that song. He's got such a whiny voice. Wait is a good song, but like I said, one song doesn't make an album. I'm just not. I mean, the guitar player, Vito was pretty decent guitar player, but I didn't quite get it.
I saw them in Hanover, Germany, playing in a club / bar. I don't know. I was pretty sick that night. I got food poisoning that night. The only thing that besides the food poisoning that really stood out to me that night was Vito Bratta's guitar kept going out of tune, and he was really pissed about it, and Mike Trent fell off the stage. Other than that, it was a pretty
sickly That's a win-win.
I got to throw up shrimp and watch Mike Trent fall. Yay. All right, well, number 21, Doc and Under Lock and Key from 1985.
I've heard this album, Bill. Where do I remember this album from?
What? Say it again. I fell asleep. You guys are talking about some band nobody cares about. What? Do you say Dokken? Do you say one of my desert top 5 albums? Absolutely. Front to back, best album on the list so far. Absolutely.
You and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll, Rolling Stone agree on something?
Well, they have it at 21. I don't agree with that. I think it needs to be more like, I don't know, down a little further. But hey, I'll take it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do like this album. We listened. Like I said, we've already talked about this album on our other show, but it is good. I mean, it's got a lot of great. It's not my favorite Dokken album. Like I said, I'll take.
Tooth and Nail.
Tooth and Nail. Over and above any other of them. But In My Dreams is a great song. It's Not Love. I mean, those are great. Those are good. Those things have been played to death, on MTV and the radio. But it's a good album.
Alan, have you ever heard of them? Do you know what we're talking about?
Actually, my friend Tony is a Dokken fan, and I think George Lynch is the reason that he plays guitar today.
No,
Dokken is one of those.
That's
bands,
a good reason.
Yeah, Dokken is one of those bands that I know the hits, but other than that, it's a band that I never really got into.
We did yesterday. I was up at my buddy's house, and we put on the music thing that I listened to, and we were listening. They had a greatest hits or kind of a great thing of Dokken, a bunch of
cool.
But it was remastered. It's been done fairly recent enough that Don can't hit the high notes. So a lot of the songs he's singing in a lower key, and he goes low when he's supposed to go high. It's really different. I mean, Lynch sounds good. They all sound good playing, but oh my gosh, he just. You know exactly when he's going to go down instead of going up. Like, okay, let's listen to this. It's just a different take on it. It's still good music, though.
Yeah,
it's just
cool.
Different. All right.
Well, we're at number 20 now, and it's a band called Love Hate, and the album is called Blackout in the Red Room from 1990, and I've never heard of them.
Me either.
Actually, I never heard of them either, but I listened to some of this. I listened to the snippets on iTunes.
Right.
Pretty cool stuff.
Really?
I thought it was, I really thought it was pretty good.
This is the one that I didn't get to listen to.
Yeah, I might try to figure out how to download. I mean, see if that's available on, Amazon or something I can listen to for free or Spotify or whatever it is. But, I thought it was really good stuff. I never heard of them. I don't know why, but I thought it was good.
Is there a song in there called Gang Bang Slave Girl?
That's
what I'm kind of reading through the little thing here because I didn't get to listen to it. It says,
I listened to 4 or 5 cuts off of it, so I don't know if I don't remember that being one of the things. I listened to probably the first song for sure, and then maybe the third and the fifth or something. I don't know. I listened to a couple of them. I thought it was pretty good.
Huh. So I'm going to have to check this out, actually, after reading this. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely sounds, 80s hair metal stuff for sure, but I just never heard of them. And I don't know whether they came in, I think this album came out in 2009. Is that right?
I don't know.
No. That can't be right. That's got to be a remaster or something.
1990s when this.
Yeah, 1990. Okay.
So it may get lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Very possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out.
All right. Let's move to number 19. Warrant with Cherry Pie from 1990. I think Janie Lane is was an interesting lyricist. Some of the alliterations in the song Cherry Pie are hilarious.
Right.
It's a shame that he couldn't keep those talents couldn't keep him from going into the spiral he ended up in.
Right. Like I said, I told you before I'd seen him live, and he is a really good singer. Cherry Pie, I never liked that song, period. But this album has Uncle Tom's Cabin on it, and that song rocks balls. It's just that song. You just put it 3 or 4 times on that album. I don't care. Listen to it every time.
There's another really good song on that album too called "You're the Only Hell Your Mama Ever Raised." That's another good song on that album that just kill. It just kills it. It's awesome.
Mr. Rainmaker's on there. That's a good song. And then, of course, I Saw Red, which is just a great song.
Yeah.
That's great lyrics. So, other than the song Cherry Pie, it's a great album to me.
The story behind that song is they had the album written, and he wrote that song back at the hotel or whatever that night because they wanted a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and, the video was hideous.
The video. Put a smile on your face. 10 miles long.
I thought that was funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
It is. It's very, very
tongue in
Can I
cheek.
say tongue in cheek? Is that right?
Now, was he married to Bobby Brown at that time, or did they get married after the?
I think that was after.
Afterwards, okay.
Yeah, we're into this list now where you're talking a lot about lead singers that dated their video stars.
Exactly. But no, like I said, you got to give, like I said, this album, you got to give him a lot of credit because Uncle Tom's Cabin is a shit of a song. I mean, it's great. It's awesome.
I have a little story when we get a little further down the list about about these guys. So,
okay,
all right.
Number 18 is Cinderella's Night Songs from 1986. This was their debut album. Nobody's Fool, Save Me, Shake Me. I said, somebody
songs.
save me. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd think somebody that had this album would know the songs. Actually, I like Long Cold Winter better.
Right.
I like this album better than Long Cold Winter. But it 6 of one happens as the other. I always liked Tom Kiefer's voice though. He had his voice was different than everybody else's. It was
right. It was.
It just wasn't. It didn't sound like all the other '80s bands. It was just a little bit different.
Well, it's real gravelly. I mean,
yeah, kind of gravelly.
He wasn't trying to hit those high, screaming notes and everything. He was just being had a little bit more of an AC/DC kind of sound to it, or that kind of blues rock kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like this album too.
I seen them in concert; they were really good.
Yeah, I saw them too.
Really,
really
good.
Yep.
Saw them open for David Lee Roth in Denver, Colorado, back in '92 or '93.
I seen them out at Mesker, but I don't remember who they were with.
I saw them at Roberts, but I don't know why. I don't know who they were with. It was a triple bill.
Yeah, I think it was for us too. It was Slaughter, or it was I don't remember. Anyway,
the David Lee Roth Cinderella show was supposed to be a triple bill with Extreme, but then Pornography? That album blew up, and then they got their own tour. And
we're going to talk about that album.
Yeah.
All right, we're up to number 17 now.
And if you're watching this, you can tell this is going to be a very short conversation.
So, number 17, Def Leppard's Pyromania from 1983. My number 2 favorite Def Leppard album.
That is an awesome album. I mean, there again, they used MTV to the fullest.
Absolutely.
They ran that stuff. I mean, there's some those songs on there are great. We used to, the band I was originally in when we first come to Evansville, we did Rock of Ages, we did Foolin', we did Photograph. I mean, it was.
So you were a Def Leppard tribute band.
Oh, it was almost got to that point. Almost every set. But at that time, that was what was hit. The popular stuff. So,
some of these things I just wrote down words or whatever. I just wrote explosion.
It was.
It just exploded. I mean, that thing blew up. I mean, wow. Talk about taking a band that was kind of in the land of obscurity somewhat and just kind of floundering around to they
were a mediocre band at best.
Holy mackerel!
They got them in the studio and put to that wall of sound, and they're doing all teaching them how to actually play and how to get that big sound. And wow, look what he did with them. I mean,
was this album? And I can't remember this. Was this album before the drummer got injured or after?
Yeah, before. Yeah.
Before. So this happened like after that, during that tour or right after that tour, right?
Yeah.
I think it was after.
It wasn't long. It was right around that time. Yeah. Okay.
After the Pyromania tour was over. Yeah.
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 That's when they did the other album that's on this list later on, but that's whenever he was on. But yeah, I mean, those guys have been through some adversity too. I mean, hell, Steve Clark died,
still going through it,
and he died before Whatchamajoo lost his arm.
Mm-hmm.
So wasn't it?
No, that was not. That wasn't that long ago.
Well, it's been.
No, it's been
like 25 years ago, dude.
I guess.
Come on, wake up.
You're not that young anymore.
But no, so Steve died after.
He died in 91. Yeah.
Oh, it was 91. Wow,
yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Because I know Phil's been with him forever. He just don't as long. It seems like so. Okay.
And then the issue they have had with Adrian.
Right.
Vivian.
Is it Vivian? What's his last name?
Vivian Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh, Campbell. Oh, I don't know why I thought Adrian. I have no idea.
We're not talking about Iron Maiden right now.
Yeah, sorry, I was confused. It happens.
Yeah.
I can't remember all these names.
All right,
Okay.
we're up to number 16, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry from 1984. Dennis.
Man, I tell you what, I love Twisted Sister. I love Twisted Sister a lot, but I don't like We're Gonna Take It and all those. I just don't like those. There's so many other songs that they do that are so good that I don't know. This album here is just. Did this one have Captain Howdy on it?
Yes.
Well, okay, then I like this album, but the other songs, I will skip through. I had to think about which one was which because there's so many of their songs that are good that I like, and I don't have to hear We're Not Going to Take It or I
Want to Rock.
On a Rock. I can just those have been just burnt to the crisp. I'm done with those. But no, Captain Howdy and stuff like that, and that's got the prices on there too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great, and that shows you there he can sing. The dude can sing. I mean, he's just not all,
He's a good songwriter too.
He is a great songwriter, but the price, man, his voice is awesome on that song. And he's a big, ugly woman, but
He's a drag queen.
yeah, no, but no, like I said, but those two songs, it's almost like Warrant's Cherry Pie album. Take that song off, and it's a great album for me.
Yeah,
This album here, the same thing. You take those two songs off, it's a wonderful album. Those two other songs on there, as far as I'm concerned.
Now this one's my favorite Twisted Sister album. Of course, I only like 2 Twisted Sister albums, so it's not hard.
You like two more than I do.
He said.
I knew as soon as I said that.
How old are we? No.
It's not how old we are; it's how old we act.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm. Go ahead, finish your thing.
yeah, I like this one. You like the Captain Howdy part. I like the Street Justice part.
That's a good, yeah.
That, oh my gosh, the build up on that right there, just to the end.
Right.
By the time that song's over, I want to go kill something. Or kill someone, actually. But it has to be a bad person we kill now. All right, what do you got, Bill?
I got nothing. Never liked them. Don't like them.
Really?
Just never.
Not a Twisted
It's
Sister?
a band I never thought had any. I just no.
Not an SMF, huh?
I thought it was a gimmick from the start. I don't think Dee Snider's talented. I think it's all no.
Wow.
And every time he talks, it just pisses me off. So it's even worse now because he didn't talk and say stupid things before. I don't care for the guy. I mean, I don't care for the band.
Did you see him testifying in front of Congress
funny.
at the PMRC?
That's funny.
Yeah, he was very.
That was epic.
It was. He was very eloquent and very to the point, and
they
tried to make him look stupid, and he pretty much shoved it in their face.
Yeah.
And that I can tell you that is the only thing about Dee Snider or Twisted Sister that I think's worth anything. But the rest of
when he had to define what the SMFs were, he looked at women right in the face. It was like that's great. Take that.
Yep.
Take that. But I thought you'd been a fan of it, Bill. I really did.
I told you earlier I told you earlier. I'm just not a fan. Never have been.
We know what to play in the car with Bill now.
Yeah, we're gonna get.
Yeah,
I'm gonna load it.
I'll just
up.
jump out.
All right.
He's not going to take it.
Well, he drives separate.
There you go.
Wow.
All right, we're up to number 15. Quiet Riot's Mental Health from 1983. What you got, Bill?
How is this 15?
This was a game changer.
That's what it says on the
how
list.
This is 15. I mean, I know it's smart ass. I just can't figure out how it ended up being 15. I mean, yeah. To your point, Dennis, that is another one of those iconic albums,
Right.
of the 80s that just flipped.
It's the first metal album that ever went number one.
And it
Didn't it debut at number 1?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And no, it never happened before. And they're the ones that got all the other bands on the Sunset Strip signed.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for those guys, and Kevin DeBro, he knew it too, and he told everybody that. That's why
He was not bashful in his thoughts.
No, that was another guy that another band that had some phenomenal players. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Rudy Sarzo.
I got to see him in their. I got later on, like I said, when they did that little thing when they got back together, got to see him complete, and it was really cool.
Oh, I saw him at Roberts, and it was it was really good show, great show actually. So yeah, I just couldn't figure out why this is 15. I would have definitely moved this up the list.
Oh yeah, I mean, it don't have to be number 1, but it should be in the top 5.
Definitely should be a top 10 for sure. Top 5 probably, yeah.
Right, but there's some great songs on there.
Thunderbird's the highlight of this album for me.
Well, Slick Black Cadillac. That song is the beginning of that when they're doing that harmony thing. That's a great album. And the other thing I couldn't figure out is, Condition Critical that followed it up was basically, and it doesn't happen a lot with sophomore albums. That just sounded like they did all those 2 albums in one setting and then just split it into 2 albums. Because if you listen to that album those 2 albums back to back, it just sounds like one huge album, and that usually doesn't happen.
Right.
But the Condition Critical was really as good as the first one.
Right.
Mama We're All Crazy was on the second album.
Right.
I mean,
like you said, it sounded like the same session.
Yeah.
It really wasn't much change. But I mean, Metal Health, man, that boom. I mean, when you hear that come on, it's just, you just want to go, you just throw the horns, I mean, you can't help but just scream along with it. I mean, it's just, it is an anthem. I mean, it's huge. And they put it, 15.
15. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when we start talking about this stuff, I just want to flip over and turn that on. I'm like, come on, I got to put that right now.
Not going to get any work done tomorrow because I've got to listen to all of this stuff.
Rolling Stones never made real smart decisions sometimes, so we've known that over the years.
Well, I've lowered my expectations enough, so we're good. Okay, flipping.
Number 14, Warrant, Dirty Rotten, Filthy Stinking Rich, 1989.
Great from head to toe.
Yeah.
This was the first their debut album. I love this album. I still listen to it actually. And I listen to the CD. I'll drag the CD out and put it in my truck. I really like this album. And so here's a little funny story.
Okay.
They were Louisville, Kentucky for the state fair every year has free shows, and it's usually just it's just a variety of things. So one year they had Kingdom Come. Do you guys remember those guys?
Right.
So Kingdom Come. They were like a Led Zeppelin.
They sounded just like Zeppelin.
Yeah, exactly. And Warrant was the opening band, and there was another opening band. And we went with some friends, and we get down there, and I told Lisa, I said, "Wouldn't it be funny?"
Was the headliner?
Yeah, Kingdom Come was the headliner. Well,
Holy
this
shit.
was 2 weeks after Heaven hit number 1.
Wow.
All right. So I said, this is going to be kind of funny if Warrant ends up coming out in like a station wagon, or something, because they don't have any money yet, or something like that. So we're sitting there. There's a big bus back behind the stage. I'm like, I can't believe it. I just can't imagine, because it's out on a baseball field. So here comes this. You see this vehicle coming across the baseball stadium, and I swear to God, it was a station wagon. The guys from Kingdom Come get out of the station wagon while Warrant is wearing their all-white gear, just killing it out there on stage. I just busted out laughing. It was the funniest thing. It was like, okay, I don't see this is not going to last but about another 15 minutes before headlining thing switches. And they were great. They did a really good job. It was very impressive. And when they did Heaven, that place just erupted. And the thing is, it's a free show, so it packs the joint, and it's a baseball stadium, and so every seat in the baseball stadium is filled, and they have the stages like on where home plate is. So
they drove onto the baseball field in a station wagon. I bet
yes.
you're not the only one that was laughing.
Oh my God! No, I mean, it was. I'm like, because I remember telling us that there's a station wagon coming across there, and Warrant was on stage. And I'll be dang, they parked back far enough you could see them getting out. And you could see all these guys with these big hair. And it was the Kingdom Come guys. And I'm like, that's so not right.
You know what's funny about this album though, and it's kind of because I really didn't know who Warrant was, and the only thing I knew about him was the MTV, and the song Heaven. and those kind of white clothing that they had, and I remember Rod they were out at Mesker, I guess. They was out there, and I don't know, they opened for somebody, and Rod and somebody else went, and I actually was making fun of them, going, I can't believe you're going to go see those, man. But that's all I knew about them was just that song and the stupid clothes they wore. And I was like, going, if the whole show's like that, it's got to be terrible. And I was like, no, man, they got all kinds of great songs. You got to listen to the record. So we finally listened to the record. But before then, just by those two things, I was like going, man, those guys are terrible, But then once you actually sit down and listen to the album, it's like, oh, okay, they're more than just that,
Yeah, it was good. Good show.
Awesome.
Number 13, Extreme 2 Pornography from 1990. That was a tongue twister.
Only good thing about this, the title, it's got the word porno in it. Man, if I don't have to hear more than words one more time, it wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit.
Yeah, Extreme was a band I never got into.
And I tell you what, I know Nuno's supposedly this virtuoso and stuff, but man, Gary Sharon, that dude, I mean, not only does he suck in this band, he about took Van Halen down with him too. He basically, it's like he's just bad news. Oh my God. They actually had a song in there called Little Jack Horny.
Oh, I tried to listen to a couple of songs on that tonight, other than, the two ballads, and I was like, oh, God.
I actually had
How did this get in the top 30? How did this get in the top 15?
I have this CD, and what was
Don't tell anybody that.
No, but what was the one song that was it had a kind of a cool, the hell, because Kelly she bought this damn thing, I think.
Oh, dude, you're going to get in trouble because she's going to listen to the show and she goes, I never bought this crap.
I think it was actually one of the ones that came in the record club, the one that if you don't fill out the thing, they send it to you no matter what. I think we kept it. But there was one, some out the funk or something. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. It's just bad.
It was a bad album.
Yeah.
Funked Up Fairy Tale. Get the funk out.
Get the funk out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's probably the best song on the album. And that's a terrible song. So there you go.
Terrible.
Like I said, porno's the only good thing about this whole thing. So anyway, that's my take.
Now we're up to number 12, Whitesnake's debut album from 1987. Well, when I say debut album, I should say it's probably their U.S. debut album.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they put some stuff out in the UK before that.
Well, when they had John Sykes playing guitar, that's Slide It In and all that. That's a great album. But this album was huge. It was huge.
Yeah, how is this not in the top 10? I know it's 12.
But and MTV, okay. I mean,
if you look at number 8, how is this album not in the top 10?
What's number 8?
Doesn't make sense.
We'll get
there. My God, yeah. I had to remind myself. I mean, you couldn't watch anything on MTV without this. One of those, him and Tony Katane, her flipping over the cars and they're making out, driving down the road.
Another one of those.
There you go.
There you go.
Tony Katane and David Coverdale. I mean, David Coverdale's got just a huge voice. I mean, he's still to this day.
He's got huge hair.
He does. He's got great hair. But to this day, I love his hair. If I could,
even as an older man, he still has good hair.
And I don't think it's wigs.
Good. It's not. It's really good hair. But Kelly always thought he was a good-looking guy. I mean, he's just a good-looking guy all around. But the dude can sing. I mean, oh my God. I mean, he sang for Deep Purple. I mean, he's been around.
Yep.
That's all his stuff, and he still sounds good.
Yep. Yeah, great album. I can't figure out how that's not in the top 10.
Yeah,
definitely.
This got Still of the Night on it, too. And then,
it's got, I mean,
jeez.
That's big stuff on this album.
Yeah. Because I'm going to say, all it says here is Here I Go, and it didn't really go in. I like that what they said is Coverdale's then girlfriend, Tawny Katane, dry humping the hood of his Jaguar XJ. That's awesome.
Let's see.
Hey, if you got a Jaguar,
I remember that.
Tawny Katane.
Time has not been good to her.
Oh, no, I saw no.
David's looks a lot better than she does at this point. she's had a pretty rough one though.
Yeah.
All right, you got something else?
Nope.
They had a great album, but I'm like Bill. It should have been higher. Should have been higher than 12.
Well, we're up to number 11, which is 1989's The Great Radio Controversy from Tesla. Badass album.
It is a good album.
Good album.
Yeah.
Good album.
Yeah.
Best, for me personally, best power ballad of the 80s.
Which one was that? Oh, yeah, Love Song. Oh, yeah.
Just, I mean, from very beginning of that, the acoustic stuff. I saw these guys last summer open for Def Leppard and Styx.
Right.
And they played that song, and they played the acoustic piece, the two guitar players, and it was...
Oh, they're guitar players.
It sounded fantastic. The lead singer sounded fantastic all these years later. It was great. That was for me the best part of the show. That's why I went, because I've seen Styx and whatever, and Def Leppard was exactly the same show I saw when they co-headlined with Kiss, so it wasn't that big a deal. But Tesla was on it. It was a great show.
I think I like Mechanical Resonance better. I like the first album a little bit better than I do this one, but this is a great album. This one doesn't have Signs on it, does it?
No.
That's off that other one. That's one song.
Modern Day Cowboys off the other one too.
Yeah.
So both those songs.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Little Susie's on that first album, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. I tell you what though, Signs. You can take the band that they are. I mean, this band is so good. But that song is just like chalkboard scratchings to me. I cannot stand.
You really don't like it?
Oh, I can't. Man, I can't hit the dial fast enough when that song comes on. I'm serious. I freaking hate that song. I mean,
wow.
That
I forgot
really got overplayed on the radio.
Oh, it did, and it's just bad to start out with. And after that night we did our turkey show, I was sitting there going, of all the songs that I forgot to put on that list, that would have been my number one. Just shitter. I mean, I just hate that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I do like Tesla, though. I do love those guys. Awesome.
All right. Now we've made it to the top 10.
Top 10. There should be like some
all
graphic.
David Letterman stuff floating around. Yeah. All right, enough of that. Number 10, Cinderella, Long Cold Winter from 1988. Again, my favorite Cinderella album ever. Not horrible. Bill.
I don't think it's horrible. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Said what? Gypsy Road, Bad Seamstress. Yeah, Cinderella. You can't go wrong with Cinderella. I mean, they're just good.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a real big fan of just flat out blues.
Right.
But most of this rock and roll that we listen to is blues based.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have to say, for me personally, Long Cold Winter is the best blues rock album I've ever heard in my life.
Maybe.
I just think Tom Kiefer knocked it out of the park with this one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a good album.
Yep. I believe you.
That's all y'all got?
That's all I got, man.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I like Cinderella. I'm just not like, I'm just
right.
not an over gushing fan.
I'm just giving you grief.
That's cool.
All right. Number 9, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, 1981.
Raw.
I absolutely love this album. I love this album. Did I tell you I love this album?
It's just raw. I mean, it is.
Dude,
get in the studio and just hit the button and.
I mean, no fixes, no double takes, and Vince's voice is not quite right. It doesn't matter. It sounds good, and I know some like Livewire is a great song. That's probably my favorite one. But then I also like Merry-Go-Round. Merry-Go-Round is such a cool song, and if you ever get the chance to see him on the US Festival when they did that, I got a bootleg of that, and he's like, he can't hear himself at all, and he's like 3 octaves off. It's freaking terrible, but it's still great. It's just
Vince Neil. It doesn't matter. He's never on.
I know, but this album, like you said, this album is probably one of the best first albums by any band ever. I mean, it's awesome.
It's just, for me, when I listen to it, and I haven't heard it for a long time, so I listened to bits and pieces of it today.
Right.
I mean, I think it's just, there's no production.
Yeah.
It's just go in there and play, and what we get is what we get, and we're not going to fix stuff, and we're not going to
We're not going to add
do any of that
reverb.
crap. We're not going to do
delays. We're not going to do this. It's just
and it sounds like that's what they did. They got in a big room and they just played the shit out of stuff, and they said, "That's it, put it on." Yeah. And the bad thing is, there was a gap between that album and the second album, and Shout at the Devil is what really kind of took off,
right?
And people had to go back and go, "Oh, well, I got to listen to the first album first,"
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just that's the album that, as a band, you look back at that and you go, that was awesome. I mean, I would think. I mean, never
perfect.
Recording or anything
perfect.
like that. Yeah, it's
perfect.
Hands off, let it go.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I don't want you to ever re-record it.
Yeah,
don't ever. And that's one thing.
Don't remaster it. Don't.
Alan put that thing on there this week. The one where they had
Stone Sour's
copy of it. And the thing that I liked about that thing was true to every little nuance. I mean, if you notice, they didn't add anything to it. They really didn't change. It sounds a little heavier because it's newer recording, but it sounded very, very true to that. They stayed in that to what it was, and I liked that. I was like, man, that's really cool. Yeah. I love this album. Did I tell you I love this album?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure if this is one of your favorites.
Middle of the road to
me. You're not being very decisive tonight.
But
I'm surprised.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited about this next one. I'm just
liar.
Oh God! How this would beat?
What the? How?
Number 8, Kicks, Blow My Fuse from 1988.
Okay, here's my notes.
Don't blow my fuse. Just blow me. That's the worst. It's terrible.
Top 10 ? I don't think so.
Right.
How can this be even in the top 50 with so many bands that aren't even on here? It's just
close your eyes.
That's horrible.
I just sing it better than that guy did. I mean, it's terrible.
Okay.
Though, I had some friends of mine who thought Kicks was the best thing since, buttered toast. And I'm like, did you get dropped in your head as a kid, or what's wrong with you? I don't understand it.
They obviously never had buttered toast with cinnamon on it.
They never just had buttered toast, period. I mean.
But like you said,
really?
I don't even know how this thing got in the top 50, much less in the top 10. And then also be one better than probably the greatest song record on here. It's like, that's just ridiculous.
That beat Whitesnake.
Yeah, it beat
both albums by warrant.
Hey, Rolling Stone magazine, if you haven't figured it out yet, you're wrong.
It beat Porno Graffiti. And that's a terrible album.
It beat Def Leppard.
Yeah.
It beat Pyromania. No way. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Oh, so I guess all three of us have forgot to say the most important phrase. WTF.
Yeah.
WTF.
I said that earlier, I think.
Oh, you might
or maybe
have.
I just started to say it and I stopped myself.
Yeah. Anyway.
It almost makes this whole thing invalid. I mean, it just takes the whole premise.
Well, it's valid for what? If it's valid for whoever the critics are that wrote it that hate everything that's good.
Well, if you didn't like number 8, I don't think you're going to care much more for number 7 either.
No, I do.
Nope. I pretty much wrote whatever.
Really?
That's a band that.
I love these guys, though.
Number 7, Faster Pussycat from 1987, their self-titled album.
Great live band, too. I seen them out at Mester, Slaughter, Faster Pussycat, and Kiss in the Hot in the Shade tour.
Yeah, I saw that.
They come out, and this album was out when that came out. They come out there doing, did Bathroom Wall and Babylon, and I was like, and they were a great live band at that time. They looked just like they did when they were on the Civilization, Western Civilization movie. They were young and ready to go, not like they are now. They're fat.
We're all really slim. Yeah. Shirt makes me look like 5,000 pounds.
His camera puts like 500 pounds on.
500 pounds.
But no, I really do. I have this album. It regularly gets played. I like this. I like it a lot. I don't think it's a top 20. It's not a top 10. Just my own.
So bad, Dennis.
What you talking about, Willie?
Oh my gosh, that look on your face, Bill. I love it.
Top 20, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Really? I tell you what,
they're going
it's better than Kicks, and it beat it by one. No, I
don't know about 20. Top 50, maybe. Top 20, I don't think
so. Listen to it a couple more times.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that when I'm asleep.
Well, they kind of redeemed themselves, in my eyes anyway, with number 6, Rats Out of the Cellar from 1984. Round and Round is one of my top 5 hair metal songs ever.
This album rocks from the very beginning of the needle to the very last groove on the backside. There isn't a bad song on this.
Nope.
Back for More, just all of those songs are just fantastic. Yeah, I've worn many copy of this one out.
And if I'm not mistaken, no ballad. Is there a ballad on that? I don't think there is.
I don't think there is. I think you're right.
I think it was one of the very few albums that came out with no ballad.
See, we used to play She Wants Money and I'm Insane. We did those. Lack of Communication, The Morning After. Nope. There was none. I don't think there was. There Again, and then they used, they took MTV. And you know who's on the front cover of this album, don't you? That girl on the front.
I mean, who is that?
It's Tony Katane.
Oh, it's
I would not have noticed that.
She's not Milton Berle. I noticed that it's not Milton Berle.
She's a resident band hoe. You know what I'm saying?
That Round and Round video is one of the greatest heavy metal or hair metal videos of all time.
It's got Milton Berle in it, though.
Milton Berle is just cool.
He just what? He is was he Robin Crosby's uncle or was he?
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah.
Anyway,
that I did not know.
Oh, you didn't? That's why. That's how they kind of got.
That's how they got him to do it.
I always wondered about that.
But still, the thing about, have you ever seen Rat live?
I saw them at Rocklahoma 2 or 3 years ago.
I saw them open for somebody right before this album broke, and I can't remember who it was.
I never got to see him live. I actually got to see Stephen Pearcy do a. He was down there at Fast Eddie's here a few years ago. They did he had a bunch of backup guys, but he basically did a bunch of Rat tunes, and he wasn't bad. But I've always heard that they're a great studio band, but they just suck balls on stage.
Well, I will have to say, some of the videos that I've seen, they look terrible.
Right.
But at Rocklahoma, they brought it.
Well,
it was Pearcy, Warren DeMartini, Ron Croucher, Bobby Blotzer, and Carlos Cavosa.
So he took
that's a great band.
They tore that stage up.
They should have.
I was ready to make fun of them because it was going to be terrible, and I was speechless the whole. I was like,
well, see, I think now they got their shit straight, but I'm talking about.
Oh no, they don't.
No. I'm saying playing. No, they can't get together. I'm saying they didn't get their stuff together, but I'm saying playing wise, like when you've seen them, Al, was a lot better than probably in 84, 85.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Because I've heard that they've been. Because I think who was it? It was either Rod or somebody else I know that seen him here in town, and it was Twisted Sister and then Rat. And it was my friend, our old drummer Keith went because he wanted to see him real bad, and he said that Twisted Sister come out there and just got the crowd just stirred them up hard, had them just about ready to rip the place apart, and then Rat came out and it was like, really, it was bad. I heard so.
Wow,
but
doesn't surprise me.
But no, this album was huge. I mean, it was another one of those. It was a huge album. It's good. It's good front to back.
Yep.
Agree, it's a top 10.
Moving from one huge album to another, number 5 is Skid Row's self-titled album from 1989.
Another great record.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I never owned that. I've never owned. I've had the singles off of it, but I don't think I've ever owned the whole thing.
I don't think we can be friends anymore, Bill. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I've got this album. The thing about Skid Row, though, I never got into them when they first hit and they were really big. I didn't really get into them. It was a little bit later on, after they kind of came and went. Then I started listening to it. Went back and listened to it. It's like, oh, that's not too bad. And then really, started appreciating.
I mean, I like a lot of their music. It's just a band I never really owned any of their. I never bought cassettes of theirs. I mean, it was always stuff that was on a compilation thing or something. Like, Monkey Business, I think is a great song. I like that song a lot. But
now that's on their Slave to the Grind album, which I didn't think was as good.
See, I liked Slave to the Grind. That's when I started getting into them. Was when that album came out, and then I went back and got this album. I was like, oh, okay, I get where they're coming from.
But Sebastian Bach can sing. That dude can.
Oh, that dude can
flat sing,
and
he can still sing.
He can still sing. That's what I was just going to say. He still can tear it up.
Yeah,
All right, now we're up to number 4. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil from 1983. My number 1 Motley Crue album.
My number 2, but it's a good album.
Number 2. Number 2, but definitely great. That's the album that got me on Motley Crue.
Exactly.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And any song I can make a ringtone for my wife out of.
Right.
Looks to Kill.
Looks to Kill is
yeah.
Awesome. Well, there again.
Sure it was going to be Shout at the Devil or
another band that. Shout. Shout. No, I tell you what, this was another band though. Again, that just used MTV to the fullest. They were a visual band, and that their videos. Too Young to Fall in Love.
They had some cheesy ass videos.
Oh my gosh!
Great. That part, man, when they go into that Chinese
eating the food and then spitting it across the room.
I love that. I used to wait for that part, going, "Here it comes."
Oh my gosh!
Like
we are easily entertained.
Mick's got a mug for radio. It just don't. It just doesn't look very pretty.
Yeah, that is an ugly dude. as much as you're attracted to David Coverdale, nobody's attracted to Mick Mars.
That's the other end of the horse.
Man.
Wow.
No, that album was. I mean, and there's like I said, it's just a full record full of great tunes. I mean, there's nothing really bad on it. Yeah, it's good. But there again, you went from the first record to this record, and they're just almost night and day. This one here is polished and got all the effects and does all this and all that, and then the other one's just raw. So you get a little bit of both sides of it, but they're still good. I mean, they were great.
So which one is your favorite? Because you said that was number 2.
Who, me?
Who, me?
I said that was my number 1.
Dennis, up there.
Oh,
Too Fast for Love.
Yeah, no, Too Fast for Love is my number 1.
Was it? My number one's Dr. Feelgood.
I love that record, remember?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you were in love with that record.
Dr. Feelgood.
Mine's Dr. Feelgood. I love everything. I like everything on the album. It's
Dr. Feelgood to me was the beginning of the end.
It was.
Yeah,
I
liked the album, but there are songs towards the end of that album, like the next to the last song.
Well, they're always crap. You know that.
See, when Girls and that shit come out, that's where I checked out. I said, you know what? See ya. I'm done.
Well, Girls was come out my senior year in high school, so that's kind of got a sentimental place in my heart.
But there again, it's one of those ones where MTV just burnt the shit out of that album, and then Kickstart My Heart, and it was just every other 5 minutes they were running that thing. And
same old situation.
Yeah, and I just
I like that album.
That was the first album where I actually learned that Vince Neil might actually be able to play a musical instrument. Because in the Same Old Situation, he plays guitar in that video.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he's seen him in concert.
He sings in live in concert too.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said I think
probably while he's playing his instrument.
All right.
We seen him tune his acoustic for 5 minutes, and then it started playing like 15 seconds before he started strumming.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the topic of bands who were made for MTV and music videos, number 3 is Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet" from 1986.
If you don't like it, it doesn't matter because that album just
took
the world by storm. Yeah. I actually saw they opened for 38 Special. I saw the last night that Bon Jovi opened for anybody, and it was in Evansville, Indiana, and they opened for 38 Special. The next day, they were the headliners.
Wow.
I can believe it.
That was when that album broke, and it was just gigantic.
I still play "You Get a Love a Bad Name" every damn weekend that we play. I mean,
those are great.
People love those songs. And we play one on Dead or Alive too. "Raise Your Hands" was on there.
I actually like side 2 of the album better than side 1.
Did you know? I didn't realize that Desmond Child wrote on this.
Oh yeah. I'll say it. I liked Bon Jovi for a while. I liked the I liked the New Jersey. I liked the 7800 degree Fahrenheit. I like
Runaway. Runaway was a kick.
Runaway was a great album. I liked a lot of that stuff.
That was on 7800 degree or Fahrenheit.
In and Out of Love.
Yeah, In and Out of Love. I mean, I thought those were great songs. I didn't care for them as it got later and they started changing stuff. So, but
I like them now better than I did back then. You know what I'm saying? I can go back now and listen to this album and go, that's a good song. Because back then, that's when we were starting to get into, we had Motley Crue, and, we were getting into the Saxon and the Iron Maiden, and the last thing you wanted to do with your buddy go, hey, that Bon Jovi's pretty cool.
Well, Bon Jovi was created for the women. That's
it was.
The bottom line.
I mean, when you're trying to be cool and rocking out and shit, and the next thing you know, you don't want to be going, hey, that Slippery When Wet's a pretty good album. You get your ass whooped, But no, I can go on
their stage show was crazy. I mean, I never saw them headline though. I don't think I've ever seen them headline.
I've never seen Bon Jovi at all.
There's some people in my family that would like to see them headline.
Right.
Lisa would like to see them headline. Alex would like to see them headline. He likes Bon Jovi too.
But now Richie's not with them anymore, though, right? Richie's gone.
No,
correct.
No.
And then the bass player's been gone for a while too, and
yeah, he's been gone for a while.
He got fired for airing out dirty laundry.
I thought he was drinking and drugging, but I wasn't for sure.
No, I think he thought he was bigger than John.
The thing is, all those guys, the keyboard players sitting there going, he writes my checks. He writes my checks.
Is it David Bryan? Is that his name? He's been there forever. He's been there since the very beginning. And
he knows who signs.
He knows. He knows.
And he's getting a good chunk of money. He's like, you know what? I'll just sit here and play keyboards,
So Tico Torres left for a while too, right? Didn't he leave for a little bit and then came back?
I don't know. I
don't know.
No, he's back. He's with them, but I thought he left for a while.
No, I think he stayed for a while. I think he's never left.
I don't know.
He did. He must have got out and went, damn, those checks ain't coming.
I'm pretty sure that I read something about he left for some period of time for some reason. I don't remember what the reason was, and he came back because he just couldn't. He missed it. But
it's been, once those guys learned it, it is John. It's got his name on it. It's kind of like, being in Van Halen and your name's Michael Anthony.
If your name's David Lee Roth,
yeah, it ain't
Hager.
And not to change the subject or anything, I've heard that name rumor about 3 more times in this last week or so about Sammy and maybe going back.
I've heard it too.
I don't know why that keeps coming up. I don't believe it in a heartbeat. I know that's completely off subject, but I forgot to mention it earlier. But I have heard it like twice, and I'm like going, I don't believe it. So anyway. But yeah, Bon Jovi, love them or hate them, they've sold a gajillion albums, and they're
yep.
Yeah. Love them or hate them. Number 2 is one of those bands made for women, and that's Poison's "Look What the Cat Dragged In" from 1986. And before you say anything, I do like that album.
Oh, it's a good album. It is. Yeah, it's a good album.
I definitely like that album.
I like their first 3 albums all the way through. After that, it was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
I've seen them in concert, and I like them. I think they're fun. It's a fun show. I mean, they're not out there, they're not claiming to be Rush or any kind of, musical geniuses. They're just out there to party and have a good time and, look good. And, and they do.
I think Bret Michaels is a great front man. I mean, a lot of people don't like him. They think but I think he's a great front man. I mean,
he's doing something right.
He is doing something right. And
he just can't find a woman. He just can't find a woman.
Stuff.
3 shows and he still ain't
It's so bad he has to have a reality show to find a woman that won't even stay with him. But his solo shows that he's doing that he's doing at casinos and that kind of stuff are packed. I mean, it's crazy, but I like that band, and there's talk about them reuniting too.
I just seen that. Well, I seen you. Sent something. I posted it on the page. They were talking. Yeah. There's rumors. I think the whole band's been wanting to do it for the last couple of years, but I think
he keeps blowing them off.
Well, he's had a solo thing going on. I know he plays down at that Wild Horse down in Nashville.
Yeah,
Bret Michaels is there quite often. He comes down there and blows through town.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is a huge Bret Michaels fan. She's a Bret Michaels fan, a Motley Crue fan, and she will go to the ends of the earth for that. So
But I did see a thing. Ricky Rocket was talking here recently, last year or so, saying, "Yeah, we're ready to go. As long as we can if we could get Brett, on board, we're ready to. My shit's packed, ready to go." And like I said, they got CC now. He's back to. I guess he's back to normal and not all jacked up.
Well, as normal as CC will ever.
I was going to say for today, because
I tell you what though, that shit. Well, back in the day, that dude was just out there. Hell, when they played that MTV Awards, remember they got out there and he started playing a different song, and it was just he was out there, dude.
Yeah, he was a wreck.
Yeah.
All right, number one.
With no further ado, drum roll, please. Def Leppard, Hysteria, 1987.
Number one?
I don't believe it should be number one.
I don't either.
However,
big album.
It probably does deserve to be there just because it was so huge, and it was probably the biggest album of the 80s.
True.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course,
I would have liked to have seen this album. These two albums on this list, I don't have a problem with it on the top 50, or even where they're at, and even the top. What was the other one at top? He was in the top.
That was like 15.
I would have
17.
I would have swapped the two. I think that the other one was a bigger album and is a better album than this album.
But this one had more radio hits on it.
Yeah, I think they both should have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I
don't know. I don't know if that's number one. I don't know which one of those should be number one. I agree that probably one of them should have been.
More of a personal opinion. I know that, like I said, if you're Rolling Stone and you're probably looking at numbers and you're going to look at, okay, well, this one sold this and this one had, this charted. If that's the case, then yeah, this has got to go first. Personally, I think the other record, to me, is better personally. Plus, I think it made a huge impact. That first album was just huge, and I think it made more of an impact than this record did in music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's a great album though. I mean,
is it number
Sugar on Me? People will listen to that till you start. Do you guys play that, Dennis?
No, thank God. I hate that song.
When we went to see Hairbangers Ball, the minute they start that song, people go bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they go crazy.
Yeah.
It's a couple of those songs on there. They're just people will go nuts.
Luckily, I've never had to learn that or actually had to talk about playing that song. Thank goodness, it stayed in the shadows for a long time. But no, I just don't. I don't think this is. Of course, I don't agree with Rolling Stone very often. Anyway, I don't think this is a number one album at all. But it sure needs to be a lot or here more than Kicks does.
I was just sitting here thinking Kicks or Faster Pussycat. How do either one of those two make it in the top 10?
Faster Pussycat,
not number top 10. Come on, really top 10?
Not
come
top
on,
10.
Dennis.
No, it's not. It's not top 10.
Okay, all right.
But it deserves to be on the list. But
yeah,
Kicks
okay.
I'll give you
the list, but
Kicks don't even should be on the first 100. I mean,
okay. Kicks is on the same list as. Okay, so how did what's that? What was the other band like?
Love Hate, was that
Chicky
one?
Metal, or what was the freshest Metal?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, they should be right
neck and neck,
right below Kicks.
Right for the Macarena. What album was the Macarena on?
Yeah, whatever.
There, like you said though, too. There should have been so many other albums that should have been on this list.
Yeah, there's so many bands that, or not so many bands, but some bands I thought of that weren't on the list. I don't know how much. What are we doing on time, Alan? Do we know?
We're pretty close to about an hour.
All right, so do we want to talk about bands maybe next time that we think should have been on the list that didn't make it?
That's what I was going to suggest.
We're going to do that. We do that.
You pick your top 10. You pick your top 10. I'll pick my top 10.
All right.
Something like that.
So we're going to pick top 10 that aren't on this list. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about that because some of my top 10 are on this list.
But what are the 10? I think it's important, though, what are the 10 that we think, or the few, whatever.
Yeah, the 10 albums that aren't on this list.
That aren't on this list that should be.
Gotcha. Yes.
I can do that.
That's what we'll do next time.
We already.
Yeah, for people listening out there and viewers,
right.
Post on the Facebook page what are the 10? What are the 10 or so bands and records that you remember from the '80s that should be on this list that didn't make it?
Right.
There's a couple of them. I mean, I just shocked by bands that didn't make it. They had huge albums, just enormous.
Yeah.
Some of them even have commercials today.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think that wraps it up for this week.
All right. And like I said, we are going to be...
We're on holiday.
We're
taking a holiday.
There will be no episode the week of Christmas because I'll be floating around out in the Gulf of Mexico.
He's going to go on a cruise ship. Can you believe
it? Be all Christmassy and jovial with my family.
But while he's off and while he's doing that, Bill and I are going to hold down the boat here, and we're going to post a lot of shit on the page, and we're going to, stir up some stuff, maybe, post some, and you guys get on there too, and do that, and we're going to advertise some of our old shows. So if you haven't listened to all of our shows, we've got a bunch of episodes in the can already to look at and look at or listen to.
Did you say look at?
Look at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go to agesofrock.com. You can hook up with our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our YouTube channel, and I finally got around to linking our Instagram on there, which has
finally.
Three pictures maybe from the Headbangers Ball show or Hairbangers Ball.
Oh yeah, you got to get that right.
We should have got that picture of the Taco Bell.
let us repress that memory.
We have audio from the Taco Bell.
let us repress that memory. Anyway, go to facebook.com/Ages of Rock podcast and tell us what albums you think should be on the Rolling Stones top 10 or top 50 that didn't make it.
Oh.
And
by the way, real quick too, we got some guests coming up out of the first year, so stick around.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Merry holidays.
See you.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.